I'd be invisible if I lost weight every time I was depressed. I'd be gone by now. I'd definitely be dead. Hey guys. What I'm talking about today is something that I think a lot of people misunderstand and think they know a lot about, but they really don't. I don't know. I have a whole lot of notes down here. So, depression. What is it? Why is everybody talking about it for some reason? Seems like everybody has depression, and honestly, it makes us feel less valid, to be completely honest. So, depression from somebody who hates themselves. What is it? Why are we talking about it? What does it mean? What's actually going on? How do we know if we have depression? Blah 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 blah. So feeling depressed versus being depressed or having depression. Yeah. So this is a really bad example, but it's really what I think of when I think of like the differences between those two. So I said like you're coming out of a funeral. Not somebody, not a family member, not somebody you know. Maybe somebody like, maybe it's your friend's family that you're not really close to, but you're going for support, you know. You're coming out of a funeral and you say, wow, that was really depressing. Meaning it made you feel sad, hopeless, maybe lonely, maybe like, you know, just overall those feelings, maybe a little anxious, just things like that. But usually the next day or a few days later, you know, obviously if they're not family and they're not really close to you, you don't really still feel that same way. You might think of the situation differently, like, okay, well maybe they're, you know, they're in a better place or blah blah blah. And you go on with your life. That's a feeling of depression. That's a feeling, not depression. That's a feeling of feeling depressed. That's kind of how I think about it. Cause you wouldn't say, wow, that was clinically depressing. I would. That's something that probably I would say, just because I'm an asshole. But you wouldn't say like, wow, that was clinically depressing, because that's not really what that is. So more definitions for you guys. Clinical depression is also known as major depressive disorder. Mayo Clinic, it's defined as a mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed mood or loss of interest in activities causing significant impairment in daily life. Significant impairment to daily life. You know, lots of people are like, you know, do this or just do that, or like, you don't have to be so lazy all the time, but it's like significant impairment to daily life. That's how you know when you're depressed. You telling like, you know, your doctor or whatever. That's how they know when it's harder for you to do daily things. So don't just be like, oh, you're depressed, go outside and do something, or go to work and you'll feel better. Like, no, that's the point. That's the point of depression. You know? Chronic depression, dysthymia, I don't think these are really talked about as much. I mean, most people are like major depressive, but you know, dysthymia, persistent depressive disorder, is mild but long-term depression. So there's levels to this shit, you know. Yeah, me, I definitely have like not chronic, but I definitely have like major depression. I actually used to think that major depression was like not as severe, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty severe. So yeah, I'm pretty sure most people have like dysthymia at first, and then as it gets worse, not saying it will get worse, but as it gets progressively worse, it's probably like major depressive, which is kind of how most diagnoses are, you know, diagnoses are like, is it changes as like, you know, especially with like, you know, anxiety, for example. You might have like generalized anxiety, then you might, you know, as it gets worse, you might have panic disorder. It might be full-on agoraphobia. You might just be scared to leave your house or scared to go certain places. You know, as it gets worse, your diagnosis will change. Yeah. So basic symptoms, I'm gonna get into my symptoms in a minute, but you know, Mayo Clinic, feelings of sadness, angry outbursts, sleep disturbances, and you probably don't have all of these, but that's like just things to look out for. Anxiety, agitation, restlessness, lack of energy, small tasks seem really hard, worthlessness, trouble thinking, unexplained physical problems such as back pain or headaches. Oh my gosh, we'll get into that. Reduce appetite and weight loss, or weight gain. So with that, you can definitely, you can get more cravings or you can have none. You can gain a whole bunch of weight or you can lose a whole bunch of weight. So that's definitely weird to me. I never understood that. Like, why can't it just be lose weight? That'd be great. I'd be invisible if I lost weight every time I was depressed. I'd be gone by now. I'd definitely be dead. Anyway, my symptoms, who knows? I've been living this life. Ooh, the curls is popping, by the way. I'm really cold, so that's why I have a headband on. But me, I don't know. I feel like it's a mixture of like everything. I'm definitely tired all the time. That fatigue is like, I don't want to get up. I also don't know if that's just my will to live, being like, no, don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to be here. Anyway, this is gonna get so dark. Trigger warning. Yeah, but I definitely do hate going outside. I hate doing certain things. I hate being around people. Since I left school, I'm back in my parents' house, which is terrible, and I literally stay in my room all day. I I sneak out for like diet soda, and I like look around and I'm like running downstairs trying to avoid people at all costs, because it's just like, I just want to be alone. Like, please just leave me alone. That's something that is just like, and it's not like because of anybody. I just really want to be alone. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to, have people. I don't want to have people asking me stupid questions like what did you do today? That's the worst question. Like, I did not do anything. Like, I hate stuff like that. Like, I did not do anything. But I try to keep myself busy with a lot of coping skills and stuff. I'm gonna get into coping skills in a whole other video, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna get into coping skills, because everybody, you need to know coping skills. Coping skills is something that's very important. It's very, it's life-saving. Coping skills definitely are life-saving, and I think when you first start learning about coping skills, it's like who cares? Like, I'm not gonna use these things. My friends don't care. I don't have anybody to call. Like, reading isn't gonna stop me from killing myself. But and it really, when you try really hard, you try to be better, it does save your life, and it is something that you need to know. So I'll get into coping skills and what I do on a daily basis in a whole other video. That'll be a different video. Yeah, I feel as though people with depression get a bad rap. I feel like now it's complicated, because I love our generation. I love how the new age that we're in, it's like we're really in tune with our emotions, and we really work for where we need to be mentally. We acknowledge how we feel and things. That's always good. That's always great. But sometimes it just makes us feel invalid. It makes us feel like you don't know what depression is. Like, and people like me who are like, I don't want to say veterans. We feel like we've just been through this, and we're at a whole different point in our journey of depression. So when you hear people that are like, oh my gosh, and a lot of this comes from like being in school, being in college. They say, freshman year is where most people could, take their lives, and they're depressed, and that's like, what? Like, I was doing it in middle school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff like that is kind of like, it's not right. It's not right that we do that to a lot of people, because you can get depressed anytime in your life. You can get depressed. So why are we like telling them that it's invalid because we feel invalid? I don't know. It's complicated. But I'd rather have everybody be depressed and feel like, I'd rather have a whole bunch of people feel depressed and feel included than 20-30 years ago, when it was like, you're just being lazy. or you're this, or you're that, or you're just, you know, and people don't understand that. No, this is something that's serious. Like, I'm not gonna get all into the science of it, but I definitely know, like, it's because of your, like, norepinephrine and serotonin and dopamine inside your brain. It's like it's when there's less neurotransmitters, that's when depression starts. So it's a lot of things. It's biological, it's hereditary. If you have, like, family members who also suffer with mental illness, with depression specifically, you're like 3 times more likely to get it. It's environmental, you know, as most stuff is, you know, that whole nature nurture thing. It's a lot that plays into it. It's trauma, like, that's environmental, but like trauma and how people deal with trauma differently. That everything is really, like, it's not just like I'll hit this button and fix everything, and it's really not like that. And I think a lot of people, sorry I'm moving around so much, I'm sitting on the floor once again and my legs are falling asleep. I think that's what a lot of people don't understand about going to doctors. And not necessarily like the patients, but their parents if you're an adolescent. And I'm gonna do a video for parents because we gotta talk. We gotta have a long conversation because we gotta talk. But I feel like people, especially parents, think that, you know, I'm gonna take my child to a therapist or a psychiatrist, and it's gonna fix everything. Medication is gonna fix everything. No, it's not. If anything, I feel like a lot of people, well, I'm not gonna say a lot of people, but me specifically, sometimes I go through phases where I'm like, I don't even care anymore because you're giving me all these medications, they're not working, I'm a lab rat, you're just telling me to try different things, which is like, how else are they gonna know if it's working? But, you know, but when you have depression, it makes you feel like I'm just broken, like I'm just a really broken person and nobody can fix me. But that's not the case, you know, they're doing their best, but that's not gonna cure everything anyway. You know, the medication is definitely a push for you to be able to be like, okay, I can get out of bed. I got to shower every day of the week this week. Congrats. Like, that's huge. Like, you know, it pushes you to do things a little bit better, do things a little more efficiently, if that makes sense. But physically, depression is definitely something that makes it rears its ugly head in different ways. Like, the migraines, headaches, back pain, neck pain, things like that are definitely, like, or sleep patterns, that's physical, right, I guess, because it's still, like, sleep, things like that are definitely, like, you wouldn't think that it affects you, but it does. It definitely does. And I'm going to get into that in a later video, too. But this was just, like, a broad overview of my opinion. Once again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not, you know, I'm not that smart, I'm not licensed for any of this, so please don't be like, oh my gosh, I deal with this, I have depression. No, this is why we hate you guys. We hate you guys that do that. Stop doing that. Go to a doctor. Like, go to a doctor, please. But, you know, this is something that, you know, if you watch this and you feel as though, oh my god, this is kind of how I've been feeling on a daily basis for no reason, you know, maybe I should go to a doctor. That's how you do it. Don't just be like, put it in your bio, depression, trigger warning. No. But thanks, guys. I'm definitely gonna do that video for parents and for coping skills, coping mechanisms, you know. But thanks. And I'll be back with another video, hopefully soon.